Welcome back, guys, to the Spurgeon Piper. This is Wilson with you. So fall is my favorite season, and I've mentioned that before in my previous video and probably in the past because of all the flavors and the weather, and it's where I designate or readjust what I'm smoking more than any other time of the year. So in this video, I'm covering the 5 blends that I'm smoking more than anything, or these are the blends that I'm going to be having in my rotation more often than I usually do. So I will be smoking other things, just to clarify, whether they're blends to review or some of my usual in my rotation, but these are things I'm putting my hands on and putting in my pipe more than others. So let's get into them, and I'll just clarify, these are in no special order, all right? Just kind of taking them at random, except for number 1. Number 1 is number 1 because I just recently covered it in a review, and that is Sutliff's Maple Shadows. So not much to say that I've already covered. So I'll keep it short. It's a great combination of both the maple flavoring, which we often usually associate with the fall, but the natural flavors are excellent, especially the Dark Friars Kentucky. Sutliff's done a great job in combining those two together. They meld well together. So I'm happy I got my hands on some. I hope some of you did, at least, because I know it flew off the shelves, and you probably could find some if you went to looking, especially if you have a local tobacconist on hand, somewhere in your city, in your region. Be sure to check and see if they still have some themselves, all right? Hopefully this comes back next year, and I'll try to put in a word, if not that it really matters, but try to put in a word with Sutliff to bring it back next year, because it's excellent. I love everything about it. So, Maple Shadows, number 1. Number 2 is a combination of 2, because they're very similar. And that is going to be Samuel Gawith's Chocolate Flake and Gawith and Hogarth's Bob's Chocolate Flake. Now, if you're not familiar with these two, I think a lot of you are. They are a Latakia blend or an English blend with chocolate flavoring, to keep it brief. I'm gonna have a video here soon going over these two, and I wanna compare them both because there's always a lot of conversation of which one's preferred, which one's better, and all that stuff. But to just keep it brief here, the reason why I'm pulling them out is usually English blends kind of mark the cooler seasons of the year. Even though I'm not big into English blends anymore, this is one that I really do enjoy. The English, or the Latakia rather, is great for this time of year. And then the chocolate, I don't know, the chocolate just suits the season, at least for me. So I'm smoking both kind of simultaneously as I'm comparing them, and I will probably smoke them simultaneously throughout the rest of the season. So these are going to go well into even the winter time, December and probably even January. So Bob's Chocolate Flake and Samuel Gawith's Chocolate Flake. All right, and again, I will have a review of both of these probably in the same video here in the next week or 2 weeks. So be sure to like and subscribe to kind of keep track of those things. Well, going on with number 3 is going to be another English blend, and that's going to be the Country Squire's Shepherd's Pie. It's not an autumn or fall blend you can get any time of year, but again, English blend, something I want to give a little bit more focus to with the cooler season. But Shepherd's Pie is a little unique in the sense that they add burley to the mix. John David Cole adds burley to the mix, and that's something that really scratches an itch for me because I love burley. Burley is something I pull out even more often in the fall season, and so adding those two together, it's a nice mix to it. It goes well with either the morning or the evening. Well, it's all day really, but that's usually when I'm going to be smoking it. And so again, the flavors of Latakia, that smoky, barbecuey notes, along with the burley, with more of the molasses and nutty notes that goes well together. A little bit of sweetness, something I pull out more often, and I'll probably even finish out this pouch this season. So that's one I'm picking up and pulling out of the tin more than usual. So Shepherd's Pie would be my 3rd one. But going on, let's go back to an aromatic. And this is one I've covered before as well last year. Strauss Tobacconist Sleepy Hollow. One a lot of you are going to be familiar with for good reasons. Probably behind Autumn Evening as being the most popular aromatic for the fall season. Sleepy Hollow has not so much of a maple flavoring as, I'm just going to say, a pumpkin, like the vegetative pumpkin spice flavoring. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite aromatics. And something I always keep on hand for this time of year. There's not a lot to say about it. It speaks for itself, and it's popular for a reason. So this is one I'm going to be pulling out. I'm actually going to come back to this here in a moment. So I'm gonna cut it short right there. But this is one that I'm smoking more than usual. And let's go on to the last one. And I've covered this recently as well with another review, and that is going to be Watch City Cigars Old Dominion. Now this is in a tin. You can get this in bulk. That's usually how I smoke it. But Watch City Cigar, I don't think anyone does better right now than them when it comes to blending Virginia Perique blends. They do an excellent job, Old Dominion especially, but take 558 Flake, what have you, they're phenomenal. And they have this just earthy, fallish essence to them. A comment I made in another video, it's like if you grab some fallen leaves on a cool fall day and shoved it in your mouth or your face or what have you, and that smell that's with it's earthy, it's kind of maybe a bit stringent maybe because of fermentation, and take some sweetness, and that's really what you have. And it's maybe not sound, it doesn't sound so good in the description, but it's phenomenal, and I love it for this time of year. It's great any time of year or any time of the year, but this is excellent for the fall season, and it just matches the weather for me. So that's number 5. But then let's go with a number 6 honorarium, and this is going to be a combination of 2. I mentioned this last year, and I'll mention it again. I'll get to the name here in a moment. But what I do is I take Watch City Cigars 558 Flake or Old Dominion, even 556, what have you. They're all phenomenal. I take those and I'll mix it pretty much half and half with Sleepy Hollow. And so I'm getting the best of both worlds. I'm getting the pumpkin spicy flavoring of Sleepy Hollow, and then I'm adding a little extra with some natural flavors and that fallen leaf, earthy flavors of the Vapor Perique of the Old Dominion or whatever Watch City cigar vapor you want to choose. And they make an excellent combination. And I've come to call it Headless Horseman, right? Kind of playing off of Sleepy Hollow. That is something I'm probably smoking more than just these 2 alone. So this time of year, I'm combining them, and that's really what I'm smoking. I love it. It's a great combination. You get a good smell in the air as well, but it also comes through the flavor or through the pipe and the smoke. So there you have it. Those are my 5 plus 1. I'm really smoking this time of year, but again, I'll be smoking some other things for reviews and whatnot, and enjoying the cooler weather. I'm sure you are as well. So what are you smoking this time of year? What are you pulling out? Some of you aren't as blessed or lucky as I am to be able to smoke in a room. So I know you're getting out more and smoking outside. So what are you pulling out, and what are you smoking more in the fall, autumn weather? Well, guys, that's all I have this week. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're blessed, and we'll talk to you very soon.